I've made a list of over 28 different topics that I consider are the top topics for my Congress campaign. When Democrats talk about the issues, they have what they call their top issues. And I've made a list here of almost 30 different topics that I think are the top issues that need to be talked about for this election. Now, out of the list and out of all of these different issues, what I consider is the number one most important issue for our country is climate change. Number one, climate change. Because climate change is real. Climate change is destroying our planet. And if we aren't able to save our planet, then we're not going to be here that have issues to talk about or to live, to eat, to function. So we have to take care of our planet first before we can think about anything else. So climate change has to come number one. Now, I have some notes here, so as I'm talking about this, I'm going to be kind of shifting over a little bit here. Now, these are some of my thoughts on climate change. The science is there. Scientists from around the world are virtually unanimous that climate change is real. In fact, it's a fact that climate change is caused by human activity. It's us, it's people that cause climate change. And I have to be real here. It's the activity that we do that causes it. It's how we live. It's our culture. It's our lifestyle. Take a look at these last 20 years or so. Before the last 20 years, well, 30, 40 years ago, when I was growing up as a kid, you didn't have problems like this. You didn't see different parts of the country evaporating. You didn't see all of these natural disasters that we're having now. Tsunamis, tornadoes, floods, winter and ice storms. I mean, you look at the news every day, there's some part of the country or some part of the world that's experiencing some natural disaster of some kind or some type of extreme weather. I mean, hell, 5 years ago, just 40 miles here from my house in Joplin, they had the Joplin tornado, and that destroyed almost half the town. So, I mean, you just turn on your TV and look on the computer, Google, and you can find every day some type of extreme weather, natural disaster going on somewhere in the world. And it's caused by us, by our human activity. So we need to make some radical changes to be able to save our planet. A lot of people think that they can just save the planet by flipping off a light switch or by doing something like recycling some cans or something, but it's going to take a lot more extreme things than that, I'll tell you. Okay. Like I was saying just a minute ago, the results are frightening. Devastating problems from around the world are causing climate change. And scientists from around the world are telling us that if we don't act boldly, climate change is going to become much worse in the years to come. Climate change, it destroys our planet and our people. Now, I've got to tell you, it's time for some real radical changes for our planet and for the people and for the world. There's a lot of things that we're going to have to do to take some drastic action to make some changes to save the planet, but basically the most important thing it comes down to is what we eat. Most people don't think about that, but if we changed our health and our diet, that would be the biggest factor we could do to save climate change. The biggest form of methane well, let me put it this way. Methane is the biggest contributor to global warming. And methane gas comes from cow farts, from the cows. So we have to create a healthy lifestyle with our lives. Health, diet, exercise. If we become healthier people, we're going to become a healthier planet. That's going to reduce the methane and the carbon emissions, and that's the biggest way that we can actually save the planet. Another thing is technology. 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have computers, cell phones, all of this technology, and we were a healthier environment. I remember growing up, and you didn't see things like this in the news. I mean, hell, a tornado was a rare thing. So we really need to cut back on some things. We need to change some things. There's a lot of things we need to do, but health, diet, and technology are three of the biggest things we can do to start making some radical changes. So a lot's going to have to be worked on, and there's a lot that I want to do to really shake up this culture. It's going to take an outsider. It's going to take somebody who really has a creative mind and thinks outside the box to really tap in to what we really need to do to shake things up. Because if you just let the politicians stay in there and control our government and control our country the way they are, you're not going to see any type of change. Things are just going to keep heading in the same direction they are right now. And I believe that America is hungry for some radical changes. I mean, look at our presidential election right now. You have two outsiders that are dominating the election. Donald Trump has clinched the Republican side. He's a total outsider. Bernie Sanders is an extreme liberal who's actually my role model as a politician, and he's shaking up the Democratic side. So you've got chaos in the election right now. People really want a radical change, and it's going to take radical ideas and radical changes to really shake things up and make a difference. So are you ready? Are you ready for a radical idea? Are you ready for a political revolution? Let's make some changes. Let's really start shaking things up. And it has to start with the number one priority being climate change. Climate change is real. Climate change is here. And it's up to us. It's up to us as people to make some radical changes to save ourselves, to save the planet, to save the world. Yeah.